Hello everyone and welcome to Crafting with Delonda. It's me again, Delonda, and thank you so much for joining me today. In today's tutorial, I am going to demonstrate how to use infusible ink to sublimate a garden flag. Now, as some of you know, we are in graduation season in my house, and today's flag is being made in honor of my son. Now, I am going to take you step by step through the full process, and at the end of this video, if you find it helpful, please remember to like the video, subscribe to my channel, and turn on the bell for notifications because I do upload new content every single week. Now, without further ado, let's look at the materials and dive right in to Cricut Design Space. The materials I'm using for this tutorial include my Cricut Explore Air 2, purple infusible ink, black infusible ink. I only have this small portion of tangerine infusible ink. This color is very, very hard to find. I'm also using a green standard grip mat and this double-sided garden flag from the Atlanta Vinyl website. I'm using my HTV Ron Auto Heat Press 2 to press the flag, and I will also use a lint roller to lint roll the flag before pressing it. Now, without further ado, let's head over to Cricut Design Space. I will make sure to mention the fonts that I'm using for this project, and I will make sure they are linked below the video. I am in Cricut Design Space and I'm connected to my Cricut Explore Air 2. The first thing I'll do is come over here to the left panel and grab a shape. And even though the garden flag that I have is 12 by 18, I am going to create a template that is 12 by 16 because I'm not really decorating the top 2 inches of the flag. So I can close this out and come over here to the top and unlock the proportions. For the width, I want it to be right at 12. I'll click 12 and enter. And for the height, I want it to be 16. And I'll click enter. I'll bring the view down to right at about 50% and change the color of my template to light gray. The next thing I'll do is start to add the text. I'm using a system font that I downloaded from the Creative Fabrica website. It is called Varsity Narrow. So I'm going to come up here where it says font, and I'm using a system font. It is called AB Varsity Narrow. Like that. I'll close this out and make this bigger. I'll double click in here and type the numbers 20, enter, 25, enter, like undo, just 2025. And I want to make this bigger. And I want to change the color of it to black. Now, the next thing I want to do is decrease the amount of space in between the lines. Let's see if I try to, yeah, I knew that would happen. Okay, so what I want to do first is let's go to letter space. I want the letters to be closer together, but I also want to decrease the line space. So I'm clicking on decrease lines. So the letters are not touching, but they are very, very close together. Okay, let's kind of make this a little bit bigger like that. All right, I'm down to negative 2.6. The next thing I want to do is go right here to advanced, and I want to ungroup the lines. So if I look over here in my layers panel, this is really considered as one layer, but I want this to be 2 layers. So I'll click right here on advanced and go to ungroup to lines. And what I'll do with the first layer is click attach, and I'll click on the second layer, and I will also click attach. So even though the two numbers are attached to each other, the four numbers are not attached to each other. So now what I want to do is select both layers. The first layer, I'll hold my shift key, and the second layer. And because they are attached, I can start to manipulate the width and the height without changing the way the numbers look too much. So I want these to be wider like this. I really, really like this. And I know that because these are two separate layers, I'm not going to be prompted to use a long mat, which is what I want. I don't want to have to use a longer mat. All right, so now I have the numbers exactly how I want them. I think they look great. I'll select both for now and just group them. Remember, grouping only keeps them together on the screen. Once I start to move outside of here and get to the make it screen, the numbers won't stay together if they're not the same color. Okay. So far this looks really good, and I like the size. The next thing I want to do is add my son's name. So I'll go back over here to the T for text, and I'll type his name. Now I'm not typing his full name. I'm just typing his first name and his last initial. So I'm typing Myles space J period. And I'm not using this same font. I'm using another font that I got from, I don't remember the website, but I will make sure to find it and link it below the video before, so you can find it if you're interested in using that same font. So the font that I'm using for his name is one that's called Sticky. Sticky. I think I got it from the Design Bundles website. Okay. And let's let it take. All right, so I want his name in this font. I like this one. And what I want to do is I can close this out, and I want to change this to, I'm not sure if I want this in gold or purple. I think I kind of want this in purple. Let me see if I want, let me see. Let me ungroup this. Let's see if we do this in purple and this in gold. Ooh. Now, I don't know. I don't think my infusible ink is big enough for 6 inches of the numbers. I don't think it is. So I might have to do that in black and then maybe do his name in gold. Let's see. That might not look bad. Okay, so now with his name, I am going to click on combine and weld. And what I want to do with his name is rotate it by 270 degrees. So I'm going to click up here in the top panel, and I'm going to type 270, enter like that, and just move it over like that. I can make it a little bit bigger. Maybe all of this can be purple. This is hard for me to decide. I like that. Okay, and if I have enough infusible ink, I think I'll do both parts in purple and maybe his name in black and congrats in gold or class of in gold. Okay, so now the next part of the text that I want to have is class of. So I'll type class of, and I want to go ahead and weld it. And I'm going to bring it over here and make it big. And let's change it to gold. Ooh, I like this a lot. Okay, so now let's make this bigger. I like this. I love this actually. Okay, so now I have everything I need to make his flag, and we are ready to click make. Now, because I'm using infusible ink, all of this will be cut, and I'm not limited on the size. My only limitation is the colors of infusible ink I have and the size of the sheets that I have. Okay, so this is good to go. Remember, the flag itself is white. So when I put it all together, this is how it will look. And I think is fantastic. I'm going to press all of it at one time. Okay, so I will click, let's click save, and let's call this class of 25 garden flag. So if you are not in your sublimation era, but you want the sublimation effect, you can go with something like this. All right, so let's click make, image too large. Uh-oh, I need to turn this off. Okay, now let's try it again. Let's click make. Okay, so it's prompting us to use formats. I'm definitely not using formats. However, I will use two mats. Okay, so Miles, I will move this over to 25, and we can just move 25 down over here. And class of, we'll move this over to 20 like that, and we'll move this down over here. So I know this part of I need to put gold infusible ink here. And for Miles, I need to put black infusible ink here and purple down here. Let's go ahead and click continue. And I will get my Cricut Explore Air 2 connected. I am going to be using the infusible ink cut setting, and everything I'll do from here will be back on the camera. Okay, so my infusible ink was in this package right here, and I'm going to go ahead and open the package. It comes with a lint cloth, and the sheets, you'll notice when I take it out of the package, it looks very dull. So as you can see, these two don't look alike. What I'm going to do is put enough infusible ink on the mat face up to cover the 25, because that's the first mat that I'm cutting. And so I know I need to start at least the 5-inch mark on my mat. And I can cut the rest of this off. The other part of my design, for his name, I'm using black. So I need to open my package and put the black infusible ink on the top. So you can see it looks very dull. Doesn't look anything like what's on the package. Now for the top, I need to go all the way down to at least the 3-inch line on the mat. That will be enough to cover his name. Now notice that the infusible ink is face up on the mat. Okay. All right, so I have the black layer, which will be his name, and then the purple layer, which will be the number 25. And I'm going to get this inserted. Now, I keep my Cricut Explore Air 2 on the custom setting. I never change it from that setting ever. I always keep it on that. So now I will get this started. I'll speed this part up. Let's go to an overhead view so we can get this weeded out. Okay, Infusible ink is weeded with your fingers. So I'm just going to start to remove this. Now I am going to cut this because I can save this and I can save this. So let me do that. I need to get all of this out. Yep. Okay, I have the garden flag and I have my lint roller. I'm going to lint roll this. I'm going to pre-press this for about 5 to 7 seconds, not too much. I just need to position everything where I want it to go on the flag. And so let's do that now. All right, I have my flag and let's start with class of first. And I think I just want to put it like right up here. I'll line it up at the top like that. It looks really good. And then I'll start to line up the 20, 25. So 20 will be like right here. And then 25. I need to cut this off right here. Then let's cut this off. That looks great. Okay, so this is how it looks. I think it looks really good. This is the time to double check, make sure you weeded everything you intended to weed. Now it's time to head over to the heat press, and I'm going to press this on 400 degrees for, I think I better do 60 seconds. I'm going to do 400 degrees for 60 seconds. I am going to have to press this twice, so I'll do this bottom part first and then do the top. So I'm putting butcher paper here. This is the butcher paper that was in the box from the Infusible Ink. 60 seconds. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to be careful. Ooh, hot. Just gonna slide this down. The only thing I want to have on the heat press is Class of. This is always my favorite part. Let's take a look. Ooh. Okay, I'm going to turn this off. I don't need this anymore. And let's look at it. It is very, very hot, super hot, but look at that. Ooh. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. Once I finished peeling this off, I realized I didn't love it as much as I thought I did. There were actually rhinestones stuck to the top of my heat press. So those circles that you see in the O and the 5, it just did not look good. So I decided to go ahead and cut the design again and press the other side. So I'll show you what that looks like. Okay, so this is my first side, and I don't know what happened, but I'm going to just go ahead and do the other side because there were rhinestones stuck to the top of my heat press. So I put butcher paper here on the bottom, and I'm just going to press Class of first, and then I'll scoot it off the heat press and do the rest. So let's just do Class of 400 degrees for 60 seconds. Okay, so now I'm going to move this down so it's nowhere near the rest of the image, and I can start to add in what I want to add. Now I do need to I'm going to move this butcher paper so I don't get any ghosting. Make sure that's hanging off. And get the letter, the numbers. All right, let's see how it turned out. This is usually my favorite part of any tutorial. So let's get a look at this. Okay. This is how it looks so far. Let's go ahead and peel it back. We can start with his name. That looks great. That looks really good. All right, let's peel this back. That looks great. That looks really good. Okay, that looks good. And then let's look at the 2020, the Class of. All right, and there we go. This looks excellent. Look at that.
this is the finished tutorial, and what am I going to say? I love it. So this is the other side. This is how it looks. Okay, so hopefully you did find this helpful. If you did, please remember to like the video, subscribe to my channel, and turn on the bell for notifications, because I do upload new content every single week. Thank you so much for joining me today, and thanks for watching. Bye.